Hey guys, I thought I would share another mental health update with you guys today. My last one was quite grim. If you guys watched that with my experience with the generic to Seroquel, quetiapine, lasted 3 days on that. So anyways, I am back on medication. I had followed up with the psychiatrist and basically told him what happened. And he said, "Oh, you just seem to be one of those people that's very sensitive to medication." I said, "Yeah, I told you that from the start. I kind of had a feeling that, it might not go so well." And so before basically I could tell him how I was doing, he just started going on this rant about, well, you've been cycling up and down really fast. We have to start looking at, other things, and maybe there's something else that is contributing to this. And then I said, when he was done his little rant there, I was like, doctor, but can I show you what my moods have been like lately since I've actually quit vaping? And he said, okay. And before, when I was vaping, I mean, I feel like I'm just very sensitive to meds and substances. And when I had ended up in the ER the last time because of a really bad panic attack and not knowing what was going on those other meds, the doctor in the ER had said, this makes sense that you'd get a reaction like this because you were literally stopping one drug and starting another one. And I really like how she put that, because as much as, weed is something that's used by a lot of people to help them sleep or just to have fun with it and this and that, like for me, um, it was really affecting me and it was really destabilizing my moods. I don't think it was affecting my anxiety too much. Like my anxiety is kind of always there, but it was making me go up and down very, very fast. And so when I showed him my moods after quitting, it was just low. It was just depressed. I was in a seasonal depression, which is very typical for me. And honestly, my normal pattern is to get a lot more depressed and low moods for long standing periods of time in the winter. And then when the spring comes around, I usually kind of spike up into hypomanic episode for a few days to a few weeks typically. And then, it can even out and be kind of normal in between. I truly believe that my baseline, which I feel like I'm really at lately, like a little bit on the low side, but nothing bad. My baseline is actually quite anxious, and like today, as I'm filming this, I feel really anxious, and there's no reason. I'm off today. I want to go for a walk, and I'm like terrified to leave the house. I'm going to do it, but just like, man, it's frustrating to feel that way. But I'm hoping that my medication will help. So anyways, after I showed the doctor my current patterns, I said, because he was gonna not put me on any medication at all and kind of figure out what was going on. But when he saw that I was just kind of in a seasonal depression, he's like, "Oh, right, bipolar disorder." I'm like, "Yeah, like this is really my normal patterns." And so he said, "Okay, so let's try a medication and we'll try another one." And I said, "Can you just please put me on Lamictal? Can you please put me on that?" And he said, "You know what? Let's do it." And I was just so happy to have a professional that listened to me. And Lamictal, it's not an antipsychotic like that last medication. It's an anticonvulsant, and it's a mood stabilizer. And so I started on it, and I'm at 25 milligrams because you have to slowly titrate up because there's fear of getting a severe life-threatening rash on it. It's extremely rare, but one way to really prevent that is to very slowly titrate. So I'm going up by 25 milligrams every 2 weeks. So I'm actually going to be doubling that dose this Friday. So I've been at 25 milligrams for almost 2 weeks now. And when it comes to side effects, honestly, it's been pretty great. Like, I missed a day of work because I was having really bad migraines, and that's not something that's typical for me. But other than that, like, some normal things, like a bit of nausea upon taking it at first and this and that, but nothing debilitating. The only really weird symptom that I've been having is I've been kind of replacing words with the wrong word. So, for example, the other day, instead of saying someone in the same department, I said someone in the same apartment. My brain was like, "Yeah, that's the right word. Let's say that." And then after, I was like, "Oh," and then people are laughing and stuff, and it's not a big deal. It's a little embarrassing. And I've definitely noticed that on this medication, my anxiety is up. Like, that's another thing. I'm very lucky that I am not prone to panic attacks. Like, in general, my anxiety is more just like a jittery, nervous for no reason kind of feeling that's kind of just there. And it's super annoying, but it's something that I can kind of work through. And the doctor did tell me that, you know, after I increase my dose on this medication, if I'm still getting the anxiety, I mean, this medication might just help me with everything, hopefully. You know, we could put me on a anti-anxiety medication, like he mentioned, pregabalin, which is Lyrica. And funny enough, since I've, you know, started this whole journey, I've been researching medication like crazy to kind of educate myself, fight for myself, like ask for things and not just go on whatever they're going to throw you on, you know what I mean? When you know that there's potential for heavy side effects or this or that, like it's very important. I can't stress this enough to be your own advocate in the mental health system, because it's not like the doctors are trying to screw you over this or that, but it's like you ultimately know what you're going through, what it feels like, how sensitive you are to things, this and that. So like fight for yourself, you know. And since being on this medication, there's been nothing debilitating for side effects or anything like that. So I'm really hopeful. And so I'm trying to titrate up to 100 milligrams, which is supposed to be the start of being at kind of a therapeutic dose for some people. And maybe that'll be enough for me since I'm very sensitive. But a lot of people end up stabilizing at around 200 milligrams. So I'm going to see the psychiatrist in April because it's really hard to get appointments. You know, it takes a long time, but um, and I've also been doing on the side dialectical behavioral therapy, just kind of on my own using some of the techniques which the nurse had recommended. And honestly, it makes so much sense to me. I find as much as I have like kind of my moods of where I can be in, you know, a depressive state or a hypomanic state, I also have very sensitive kind of reactive emotions to things too. And it's helped to really just kind of calm me down and stop ruminations and stuff. So, for example, one of the techniques is actually dunking your face in cold water, and kind of holding your breath for 30 seconds at a time. And what it does is it creates this diving response. So it kind of like slows your heart rate, it kind of redirects blood flow to vital organs. And I find that really helps me calm down, and it's amazing. So that's been working great for me. And actually, it seems to be a third wave line of treatment for bipolar disorder. Most times, the most effective thing is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, but for some reason, it's never really worked for me that well. And so DBT has been life changing for me, along with finally getting on a medication that I'm able to handle. I mean, at this point, like I said, there's not really huge differences in moods. It actually made me a bit hypomanic at first and then more anxious. But I think the more I titrate up, the more I'll start to get the benefits there. So, yeah, guys, I know this has been kind of a rambly, all over the place video. What else is new with me there? But, like I said, I'm supremely anxious today, and I'm sorry if this is making you guys anxious too, but it's the truth, and I'd rather, you know, do a video when I'm in a certain mood or experiencing something so you guys can see what it's kind of like, but there's no lying on my channel, you know, so I just wanted to give you guys this update. I will definitely keep doing that as I'm titrating it up to let you know how it goes, and thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you precious gems are doing well. Alright, bye guys, later.